Okay, in this video I'm going to discuss these last several options we have here. Okay, this one is static front page. There's no need to really worry about this. What this does is this allows you to have different home pages than your latest recipes like we have here. If you click on static page, you can choose what you want your home page to be. So if you did about me, just for instance, about me would then become the home page of your website. But for this, just focus on your latest posts. That's what you're going to want it to be. You don't want to be your latest recipes. Site layout, this is what I mentioned earlier. You can move around the sidebar. So right now, the primary sidebar is on the right, and you can see the content is on the left. So in this drop-down menu, you get several different options. Content, then primary sidebar. So if you look here, you can move primary sidebar, content, and you can see how that changes. You can do a 3-column layout. Go through these options so you can see what you're dealing with here. You even have an option for a full width content that doesn't show a sidebar. I don't recommend that because we're going to want to eventually display ads, and we want to be able to display other recipes in the sidebar. And I would also recommend that you just keep it sidebar to the right. That's what most people are familiar with. It's what they're used to. They're used to navigating sites using a sidebar to the right, so I would keep that the same. Breadcrumbs are basically another set of navigation that you can add to the website. You can see how it displays where you are as far as on the website, and this is personal preference. If you want to add that, if you don't, it's fine, perfectly fine with me. If you want to add it, but play around with it. And this is just an option of what areas of the site you want it to display on. So home page, single posts. So if I click over here to this recipe, you can see that it gives me a string of breadcrumbs for this specific recipe. It's in the breakfast category. It's just another way to navigate the site. And again, these are just different places for your pages and posts and archive pages and things like that for your breadcrumbs to display. Comments and trackbacks, you want to enable it on posts so that when someone comes to a post like this, they're always able to leave a comment because you want to engage with your visitors. You will always be able to monitor mediate the post, so they won't launch immediately. You'll get a notification that someone commented and whether or not you want to post it to your blog or not. Don't need to worry about on pages because the pages are, again, about me. You don't need people commenting on your about page or your contact page. Trackbacks, don't worry about these two options. You don't need those at this time. Content archives are pages of your site that list certain posts. So for instance, if I went to breakfast, this is an archive page. Archive is anything that groups a bunch of posts together. So dinner, these categories are archive pages. If I look at a certain author, this is an archive page. If I search something, you'll get an archive page. So let's just look at this archive page. This is going to show you how you want these pages to lay out. Again, you can change these to see what happens. Display entry content, and then you can give it a limit on the amount of content you want it to display over here. So if you did 200 here, it'll add more. I would just leave it to excerpt. There's no need to mess around with anything other than that because you're going to get the read more button down here. You want it to display the title, obviously, which is this. Your entry info, display the content here. You can turn that off and you'll see what happens. You see that it removes the content. The entry meta, which is down here. And as you get more recipes, you'll see these areas begin to grow and you'll get more links down here. I would leave that on. And then, again, the same similar options that you had in the previous sections. Display featured image. You can remove that and see what happens. You're obviously going to want to display the image. You could change the size of the image that you see there. I would keep it at the nice square thumbnail image. And again, same alignment that we talked about in previous videos about posts, left, right, center option, or actually you just have left and right here. And then down at the bottom, if you had another page, you can see that there's a next page here. You can choose to just have next and previous, or you can have the numbers there, page 1 and page 2. Featured image placement, again, before or after the title. Before the title, you can see what happens. That puts it over to the left here. I like it as it was before the title. After the title. I'm going to save and publish. And we're going to go back and we're going to take a look at additional CSS. This is not something that you need to worry about here. This is something that I'll cover in some more advanced design lessons or videos that we'll have coming up later on. This is basically what's going to give you more options for your fonts. So for instance, if you wanted this font to be bigger, then it allows you in this customization area, you can put CSS here, which stands for Cascading Style Sheet. So all these options are customizable, and we'll get into that in more advanced design lessons later. Okay, that's about it for the customization panel. I hope you guys were able to get a lot out of that, and I look forward to, again, seeing what you guys come up with.